All right, what's going on, everybody? We're back with a brand new week of the Sleeping Giants podcast, presented to you by Double ETV. This is Terrance.
And I'm Mike.
All right, what's up, Mike?
Not much, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. It's been a good week, man. Enjoyed the everything, man. Just keeping up with the news and the music and everything, man. So I'm definitely excited about today's show. We'll start it off, man, with hip hop news. We got Dr.Dre, man, releasing new music through Grand Theft Auto. I know we're gonna cover the music in detail on next week's show, but what were your thoughts when you saw the announcement of Dre releasing new music through this platform?
Yeah, I think we spoke about it on the previous pod. You had told me about it, and I thought it was an interesting scenario just in general. I wasn't sure if it was going to be through the actual video game, or maybe it would be themed after the game. But now that we have the EP, it seems to be kind of themed after Grand Theft Auto. I'm not sure if it is on the actual game itself. I'm not a huge Grand Theft Auto player, but I talked to some people in who I know who do play Grand Theft Auto, and maybe we'll have some more information on that next pod when we talk about the actual EP. But from what I heard, everything seems pretty dope. Dre sounds good. I like the collabs. So, yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a very interesting and very dope project.
Yeah, facts, man. He definitely seems motivated since this divorce, posting pictures about it, and him and Exhibit. I think Exhibit went through one also. So they had like a t-shirt on, a sweatshirt with both of them divorced, and then he had the other. So Dre he's been a lot more active lately than normal. And then obviously he's doing the Super Bowl, in a couple weeks or whatever. So he's just real busy right now, and seems like he's just motivated to extend his legacy and let people know he's outside.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been a while since we've gotten music from Dre. I think the last time was the Compton album.
Right.
And then Detox has been teased for years upon years.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to get new music from Dre. So we'll dip into it further and give a more detailed analysis of it next week when we review it. But just first impressions, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing, and I look forward to hearing the whole project.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, next up, man, we got Megan Thee Stallion graduating from Texas Southern University with a bachelor's of science in health administration. Shout outs to her, man. That was something that she wanted to do, and who knows? I mean, maybe that was a promise she made her mom that, even though she's doing the music, that she'll still get her degree. But, I saw the photos and she seemed happy and seems like she's in a good place.
Well, I recently heard that education is one of the highest determiners of wealth in the United States. And despite the fact that she is in the music business, it's always good to have something to fall back on. I mean, she can't be a celebrity forever. Mm-hmm. And, I'm sure that once her music career is over, she will want to do something else with her life. And not only that, but, I think it's important that people in positions like Megan, and even people in the NBA and NFL players, people like that, push education. Recently, J.R. Smith went back to school to play golf, and he's doing extremely well in his college classes as well. So, just because you have reached a level of success doesn't mean that education isn't still important. And Megan and what she's done is just a clear example of that. So, shout out to Megan.
Yeah, facts. I know, obviously maybe the content or the imagery she may catch, flack about or whatever, but that's definitely, a good standard to, put out there that education is definitely important. So yeah, shout out to her.
Absolutely.
Next up, man, what are your thoughts about Travis Scott talking about his Astro World? He sat down with Charlamagne the God and they had a one-on-one about it. He got a chance to open up and share his thoughts. And then also, what were your thoughts? There's another festival. I think it was the same one that the baby was on that he offered to go out for free, and they still told him no. So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I haven't seen the entire interview with Travis and Charlamagne, But I mean, I do think it's good that he is at least addressing the situation. Of course, certain things are going to be out of his control, especially when he's on stage
Mm-hmm.
and performing. But at the same time, you know, whether it be a narrative or whether it be true, there have been stories of things that Travis has done at concerts and said at concerts, which have been deemed as inflicting or promoting, you know, riots and mayhem. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great thing that he, you know, stood up and with the regardless of how I may personally feel about him, with somebody who is very, you know, known in the media business with Charlemagne, and he
Mm-hmm.
draws a lot of attention when he does interviews. I remember when he did the interview with Gucci Mane and how many views that got. So, you know, I'm glad he addressed it and he's taking his own responsibility for his parts within it. But as we discussed earlier, I mean, it's still a tragic situation, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's still a lot of things that have to be worked out with that whole situation. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens in the future with it. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that he at least addressed it and is taking some level of responsibility. So
Right. Yeah, definitely the lawsuits pouring in, and I did get a chance to listen to some of the interview, most of it. He's definitely seemed, contrite about it and felt like it was a teachable lesson. And he even talked about maybe Live Nation, maybe, moving forward, there can be some things that they all can kind of work on to improve a show if something was to go haywire. But yeah, I mean, thoughts and prayers out to him and the families as well. It's definitely a tragic, situation.
and
So
I mean, you know, we said on a previous pod, I mean, it's 50,000 people. Any place where you have 50,000 people, there's bound to be some bad apples in the group, some people who don't
mhm.
want to play by the rules, some
Right,
people who want to take things to the extreme. It's just human nature.
right,
So, you know, with that many people and clearly not enough police presence or security presence,
right.
something is bound to happen. So maybe, you know,
Yeah,
that maybe we should look at the amount of people who are allowed to be at certain shows
yeah,
and different
mhm.
things like that. And even more so, the age limit. You know, there were children at that show,
Right.
the young children. So I think they should look at age limits as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, especially right now with the, me and you was talking before the pod or whatever that, now you got the NFL, NBA, new COVID outbreaks and stuff like that. So how was those many people allowed to even be in one arena anyway?
Yeah.
And I know during the college football season, because I had debated on going up to the Auburn and LSU game, but I didn't go. But I knew LSU was one of the few schools in the SEC that you had to have like a COVID, verification card just to get into the arena. So I don't know what the rules were in Houston or whatever, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot more that needs to kind of be looked at, beyond Travis, beyond just Live Nation, maybe what was the arena's rules, what was the city's rules, because I even heard they had more police at that event than for the World Series. So
I
it's
heard the
crazy,
same
man.
thing.
Yeah, it's
I,
crazy, man.
you know, maybe like you said, maybe Live Nation, maybe these venues should
Mm-hmm.
just look into, you know, what's a feasible capacity limit or a
Mm-hmm.
feasible amount of people
Right.
in ratio to what we have our security presence. I don't know, you know, but
Yeah.
something like you said, it's definitely a teachable moment and something I hope something is done as a result of this to ensure that we don't have incidents like this.
Yeah. All right, man. Last but not least, we got Drake and Kanye West team up for a concert to honor and talk about everything that's going on with Larry Hoover Sr. And then I even read a report that the feds got upset. So, what were your thoughts about it? I didn't get a chance to see the concert, but I know you did. So, what were your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, you know, it wasn't anything super crazy. Kanye came out, did his set. Uh, he covered a Drake song. Drake came out, did his set, covered a Kanye song. I think Kanye covered "Find Your Love" by Drake, and I
Mm-hmm.
think Drake I can't remember what song Drake covered. I think it was 24
Okay.
from Donda. But
Right.
or I could be wrong, but I think it was 24. But regardless, at the end, they both performed Forever, and Kanye, basically, with all the eyes that were on him, used that moment, as a I don't want to say to profess his faith and to say, we'll just say to profess his faith. And I thought that was dope. And just the whole meaning behind the entire concert, like you said, bringing awareness to a Larry Hoover situation, similar to the way he did on the Drink Champs episode. And now, we're literally seeing them put their money where their mouth is by doing this concert. So I thought all in all, it was just great. I thought it was for a great cause. And I thought it was great to see two people on that level, squash a beef or put, pettiness aside to come together for a greater good. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I found it funny that some of the reports at the feds were upset, saying that how could they honor a man who had done such, horrific things in his community. I'm sitting here thinking, well, we do celebrate Columbus Day and all these other days. So what are you talking about?
Columbus Day, presidents. This is Alabama. They have Confederate monuments. So, we're going to talk about like celebrating people. Like, let's be realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, a whole nother conversation. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But anyway, but that's good though to see those brothers come together for that. And it's definitely something that's needed, and I'm sure we'll see more of it as far as maybe other people. I remember Snoop back in the day was trying to do some things for like Tookie Williams and other guys, whatever, who have like influence. So yeah, man, that's great to see.
And prison reform is something that has needed to be addressed.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny, as a result of the January 6th situation, there's been a lot more attention paid to the situations in jails and prisons. And I just think it's kind of funny, that now all of a sudden, we want to bring attention to these things. But hey, whatever the situation is, whatever it takes, at the end of the day, it's something that needs to be addressed and something that needs to be looked into. So
yeah. And I know Jay Prince probably had a lot to do with the organizing of those two brilliant minds coming together as well.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Jay Prince.
Facts.
All right, man. We got album reviews, man. We got a good week. We started off with Tierra Whack. She dropped 2 EPs and actually 3, but we're going to cover 2 today, and we can add the R&B one in there on next week. But Tierra Whack with her rap EP, she has the music video out for Stand Up, which I enjoyed. I like her personality. I like that she's different. And it's only 3 songs on the EP, but I got a chance to, check out the entire thing. I liked all of them, Stand Up, Megan Good, I thought was like a dope concept, brilliant title for a song. And she definitely got busy on that. And I thought Millions was a great song as well. So I enjoyed the entire EP. It's only about 9 minutes, but it's definitely something everybody should check out.
Yeah, I concur. I liked every song. As you mentioned, Megan Good, love the concept, dope hook. Millions, the beat is fire. I love it. Stand Up, dope song. I love, like you said, her originality, her willingness to show her personality through her music. I enjoyed the entire EP. Thought it was dope.
Yeah, same here. Then we'll transition to her pop EP. Okay. I thought it was great too, man. I enjoyed it. I like how she has like a bi-coastal approach to music. She's not just limiting herself to just rap, but it's great that she can tap into other genres, and that could even prolong her career, to make music as long as she wants to, even if she ever gets to that quote unquote age where it's too old to be rapping. But if she, you can tell she's a person that just enjoys music. So doing pop or doing R&B is something that can keep her around as long as she wants to make music. But she did a good job at it. I mean, I like Body of Water, and I thought Dolly was a great song as well.
Yeah, Body of Water was easily my favorite track from this one. Dolly kind of gave me like a country vibe, which I thought was interesting from
Mhm.
her. So, different. And I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. And Lazy kind of gave me like an alternative rock vibe. So I just thought it was interesting that, she was playing with different genres, different elements of music, and just showing that she can do a little bit of everything. So that was dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Tierra Whack, man. And I look forward to us checking out the R&B EP on next week as well.
For sure.
Oh man, bro. Nick Grant, man, this Carolina Diaries EP, incredible body of work. It's only 10 minutes, but it's worth every second. I mean, it's incredible. I like every song on it. Boogeyman, 24/8, uh, Holy Ghost, Automatic. But Holy Ghost is definitely my favorite. I love the beat. I love his cadence, his flow. It's incredible, man. I mean, I saw Nas had like reposted like the project or whatever. So that was dope to see. And yeah, shout out to Nick Grant, man. I mean, it's incredible body of work, and definitely someone that everybody should check out. His name may not ring a bell for a lot of people. Look that up in your Apple or Spotify or YouTube search box. Nick Grant, Carolina Diaries. It's worth every minute.
Yeah, Nick Grant is fire. He's been fire for a minute. One of my favorite. I don't want to say slept on MCs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's as known as he should be based on his level of talent, but he's definitely one of my favorite MCs. I think he's one of the most creative MCs when it comes to punchlines in the game right now. I think him and Sci-Hi are probably two of my favorite when it comes just to the creativeness of the punchline. Like they're both incredible. But like you said, Automatic, Holy Ghost, Boogeyman, the whole project was crazy. Bars from start to finish. It's one of them you just put on and just let it ride,
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's 4 songs, not a crazy long EP, but it's definitely worth every second of it. I mean, bars on top of bars,
Facts.
just premier level lyricism. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Check it out, Carolina Diaries.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Next up, man, we got Kaz with Fortunate EP. Another one, incredible. I think it's 7 songs on there. It's incredible. Highlights for me are Cry, Higher Power, Control Problems that we already talked about with YG. I thought So Am I was dope. That was dope. But my favorite song on there, man, is Juice Bars. Like, I just like the whole concept, what he did. I listened to those back to back, Nick Grant and Kaz. I think I did Kaz first. Then I did Nick Grant. I was like, oh man, these guys spazzed out, man. So it was like 2 great EPs to listen to back to back. But yeah, Kaz did an incredible job. He's with J. Cole and the Dreamville, right?
Yeah, Dreamville.
Yeah, so it's dope, man. So definitely everybody should check it out, man. Fortunate EP, Kaz.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Dreamville, they showing they got a nice little squad over there, man.
Yeah.
For people who hadn't been paying attention. But for me, higher power, control problems, which we spoke on with YG, Cry is fire,
Mm-hmm.
addicted. And I loved what he did vocally on Fortunate. Like that was something that I've never really seen from him. And when we reviewed Luke's album,
Mm-hmm.
Goldmouth, I talked
Right.
about just the growth that I saw in him as an artist. And I'm seeing that same level of growth in Kaz on this EP. I think this is probably Kaz's most well put together body of work to this day, in my personal opinion. And not
Mm-hmm.
to say that his other body of works weren't good as well, but I just think from top to bottom, the way it's put together, the song choices, the topics that he touched on within the
Mm-hmm.
songs, and just the growth of him as an artist. Like I see it all, and I love it. Like you said, I listened to this right after I listened to Nick Grant. Both of them are, seamless. You can put it on and listen to it straight through, no skips. Is incredible. I enjoyed it. Shout out to Con, shout out to Dreamville. A great body of work right here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, man. Next up, we got Papoose with October. What were your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so this was a mixtape. Pap has been dropping mixtapes basically every month, and he will title them of, basically one of the months in the year. So the one that we reviewed is October. I'm sure there's a November one out by now. Maybe we'll touch that one on the next pod. But I enjoyed it. The themes kind of it kind of felt like it was Halloween themed to a certain extent. Maybe not the whole album or the whole mixtape, but certain songs definitely had, kind of a more hardcore hip hop and kind of a aggressive feel and tone. For me, I really enjoyed I Got a Plan with Fab and JD. That was fire. JD, Jermaine Dupri, and Fab. Comfort Zone, produced by Cool and Dre. Oh my gosh, that beat was incredible. Kind of reminded me of something almost Griselda-ish. I would have loved to hear like West Side or somebody like that on that beat. But yeah, he killed it. Incredible beat. Silence the Critics was very, very dope. Also produced by Cool and Dre. And I like what he did with couples therapy. It was different, but I liked what he did, and he was dropping some solid facts in there if you was listening. And I also liked Regular Nigga and Face the Messiah as well. But those are a little more hardcore hip hop type tracks. So, if that's not what you're into, you might not feel it. But I thought it was dope all in all.
Yeah. Yeah, facts, man. I enjoyed it as well. Now it's been a minute, been probably about a week since I listened to it. That's not the couples therapy. Is that the one where he where his wife called him and he rushed home?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Yeah, it's probably my favorite song on the album. It's dope. So yeah, I like couples therapy as well. I Got a Plan with Fabulous. Me and you had talked earlier when JD and Puff Daddy had their little exchange, but JD been busy lately, man. You saw him working with Currency and producing for other people. So JD is definitely outside Comfort Zone and was it Comrades? So yeah, I enjoyed the whole EP, man. I thought Pap did a great job. Been listening to Pap for a long time. He definitely did a lot of work with K Slay, DJ K Slay, and a lot of freestyles and mixtape projects and stuff like that. So it's good to see Pap getting busy, man. And there was another album. Oh yeah, he was on the Russ album too. So it was good to see him, getting some shine.
Yeah, I was just about to say, ironically, as great as Pap was on this project, I'm not sure that verse on that Russ project might not have been better than everything he said on that project for real. But we'll touch that when we get to that. So
yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's good to see him busy, man. Next up, man, we got Rick Ross, Richer Than I Ever Been. What were your thoughts about this one?
Okay, so Rose, Richer Than I Ever Been. Ross has been doing this for a minute. Most of his albums kind of seem to have kind of a cinematic theme or feel to them. It's almost like, listening to an audiobook movie or whatever. And I like the descriptiveness of his lyrics. He's very vivid in the way that he describes things, and I appreciate that. On first listen, though, I'm not gonna, pretend that I didn't feel like this was I feel like Ross has had stronger projects than this. And not just this, but honestly, the last two projects, I kind of feel like. And it's not to say that they're not good, because they are good projects. I mean, there's definitely songs on both of those projects that I still listen to and would listen to again. But I don't know, But let me just go ahead and get to my highlights. Little Havana was dope. Rapper Estates is probably my favorite song on the whole album.
Good one.
Warm Words in the Cold World is dope as well. Outlaws, that was the one with Jasmine Sullivan and who else was on that? 21 Savage, maybe?
Yep, 21 Savage, huh?
Okay. and then Made It Out Alive, I think had Blast on it.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it did. Mm-hmm.
We spoken on Blast before,
Yeah, Blast killing it.
He's definitely killing the game. And I like Hella Smoke as well. So, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, tracks on, a maybe 10-track album, I think, at the most.
12.
12, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a solid project. And I'm pretty sure it'll probably grow on me the more I listen to it. I've only listened to it once. But I did enjoy those tracks. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I haven't really listened to a lot of Rick Ross albums since Trilla, but I would kind of hear some stuff like here and there or whatever. I like the Three Kings record with Dre and Jay-Z, and the K Michelle record he had a couple years ago. I thought was really dope.
Mm-hmm.
So he's had some sprinkles of, and look, he's great at what he does as far as picking beats. Some people argue that he's the best picker of beats in music or whatever. But just for personal reasons, I just never really listened to a lot of his albums since Trilla. But I thought the project was cool. The Rapper Estates with Benny was crazy. I thought it was dope. Made It Out Alive with Blast, as you mentioned, was a really good record. I thought Emperor High, I like the beat on that one a lot. But I think my favorite song is definitely, what's that?
I'm glad you said that. I forgot about that one. That was good too.
Yeah. Richer Than I Ever Been, the theme, of the album, as a song. Thought the song was good too. Arguably, maybe that was my favorite. If not, I say Hella Smoke with Wiz. I thought Wiz just went off, and I liked the whole concept of that particular song. But yeah, it was cool. It was as you said, I probably, me personally, like I said, I've only heard about 3 of his albums. I think I probably still kind of like Trilla, even though he was starting out at that time. He can rap a lot better now or whatever, but maybe it's just the initial impact that record had on me, and just a lot of memories from it. But yeah, I thought it was a cool project though.
And to elaborate a little more on what I was saying, I don't feel like Rick Ross has a bad album in his entire discography. I don't feel like he has a bad album. I just feel like some are better than others. And sure. For in my personal opinion, maybe we'll touch it again when we after on another pod after some more listens. Maybe we'll talk about it again. But at this current space, I think I can probably think of maybe 4 to 5 Rick Ross albums that I like more than this one. But it's still cool though.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people hold him in high regard as far as his albums or whatever. And yeah, I'm not, not knocking nobody for how they feel or whatever. Like I say, I'm not saying he can't rap or he doesn't make good music or whatever. I just have personal reasons why I just never went back to his music since Trilla or whatever. But it was cool to listen to. And again, I've enjoyed his features, stuff he's done with Drake and Kanye and people over the years, and respect what he's doing, in business with the Wingstops and other stuff as well. So
yeah. Like I said, I mean, I like it. I don't feel like it's the strongest Rick Ross album we've ever got, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's definitely a nice add to his discography. So
right. All right, man. We'll close it out with Russ with Chomp 2. Bro, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this is a bold statement. I'm gonna say besides The Game and Mozzie, I think he pretty much either out-rapped or he held his own with everybody except those 2. I thought Mozzie got him, and I thought Game kind of got him, but and Game even mentioned it at the end, like, oh, okay, you thought he was gonna out-rap me or whatever. And then they had the I Can't Go For That sample came on. But I'm not saying he out-rapped everybody I'm just saying he held his own with everybody. Like, I don't feel like he got smoked by anybody except those two on the entire project. So I think he held his own, man. He did a good job. And on the previous one, he had Black Thought and he had King Cricket,
Yeah.
and according to him on the first one, I don't know how he did this one, but the first one, he laid his verse first. So it wasn't like, he got the Hear Black Thoughts thing, then go in there and do his thing or whatever. So, that's how you say he did Chomp 1 or whatever. But I felt like he held his own with just about everybody. But my standout tracks for me is Rapper Estates. No, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong thing. Blue Chip with Ransom, I thought was really good. Bucket Hat, Low, as you just talked about with Papoose, was incredible. Pap Snap, I felt like he did a good job as well. Speaking of Russ, Salute was a really good record with Styles P and Westside Gunn. I enjoyed that one a lot. Faith with Jadakiss was a good record. Note to Self with Joey Badass, which we talked about him before, Wale and Big Sean. Incredible. Distance, I thought was really good with Conway the Machine. And man, I was happy to hear Ghostface Killer. Like, that was incredible.
Ghostface,
yeah, he did snap. And I like Got It featuring Shia the Prince and Lord Banks. So overall, man, it was a really good project. Definitely long because the first one I think was just 5 songs. So this one's like literally an entire album. But shout out to Russ, man. He's definitely got bars.
Okay, I look at this completely different than you.
Okay.
You were saying you feel like he only got out rapped on 2 songs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look at it as a matter of whether he got out rapped or not. I feel like Russ is a good song maker. So the fact that Russ is collaborating with, people and making songs, especially with a lot of guys who are regarded as hardcore lyricists, I thought that was just an interesting concept in itself. For me, I thought Russ rapped well, but I mean, let's be real. I mean, there's levels to this rap thing that we and when you rapping with the likes of people like Ransom on Blue Chip, or the people like Papoose on Bucket Hat Low, like then you turn right around and rap with The Game on Nothing New, like you almost setting yourself up for failure. Like these real rapping guys. Like I thought Pap Snap, Ransom Snap, The Game definitely Snap.
Can I say one thing, Mike? Let me say one thing in response. I don't even like those 2 songs with The Game and Mozzie. I don't think those are like the strongest songs at all. Like, those probably my least favorite, but I just felt like, I don't know, maybe it's just something about those tracks or the sound of it that they just got like in pocket more, or they felt like, but what I'm saying is like, for him to rap and hold his own would be like me going out there playing with LeBron and Kyrie and hold my own. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pushing them to, if we're going to 21, I got like 17 or 19, where technically I probably shouldn't get no more than 6 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like he held his own. Like, I didn't feel like he got on any song and he had no business on it. Like, he was just terrible, or because, technically he's a singer, but, he's been, rapping more, obviously with the first Chomp, and now he's doing it with this. I just felt like he did a great job, you know what I'm saying? Where arguably you could say he really shouldn't even be able to hold his own with these people, but I thought he did.
I mean, Russ, I wouldn't box Russ in and say he's a singer. When I first heard of Russ, he was rapping. So, but regardless, I mean, I think I just look at it differently. I don't put Russ in the same category as those guys, and that's why this whole project to me was interesting, because I really feel like he put himself in a zone that probably might not be his comfort zone, but he was able to do some good work. Like, I don't think he had a bad verse on the album, but I definitely think there's levels to this rapping thing, like I said before. But anyways, highlights for me. Like I said, Blue Chip with Ransom, Bucket Hat Low with Papoose, They both snapped.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing new with the game. Probably the best verse on the album. The game's verse.
Mm-hmm.
Salute with Westside Gun and Styles P was dope. I like Westside. What he did as well.
Mm-hmm.
Faith with Jada Kiss was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Free. I love Snoop's verse on Free.
Yeah.
I really enjoy his verse. And I like Crit too. Not my favorite Big Crit verse. I've heard verses that I like better from Big Crit, but still cool. And that's no shade, no knock, just true how I feel. Top of the World with Jay Electronica. Jay Elect did his thing too. Once again, not my favorite Jay Elect verse, not the strongest Jay Elect verse I've heard this year, but it was still dope. No shade, just how I feel. Note to self with Big Sean. I really enjoyed Wale's verse. Wale snapped. For those of you who want to know, Wale snapped. And Joey did a really good job with his verse too.
Yeah, he
Joey
did.
Badass
Yeah.
on that track. So I like that.
Hit Boy.
Distance with, Hit Boy as well. Thank you. Distance with Conway and Ghostface. Get It with Sci-Hi and Lloyd Banks. And then, like you said, Enjoy the View with Mozzie was dope as well. So dope project.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just enjoyed that it was Russ kind of doing something that, you kind of, like you said, a lot of people know him for being a singer. But he was definitely doing a lot of rapping and, showing that he can do both at a very high level. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially towards the latter part of it. He did a lot more singing on like the hooks and stuff and made it good songs, as you mentioned. So yeah, I thought it did a great job, man. Like I say, it's dope, dope just to see him even take that challenge on to put himself in that vulnerable position, because you're rapping with like some giants or whatever, but that's good to see him, hold his own. Yeah. All right, man. We'll transition to new music of the week. Got 2 Chainz and DJ Premier with Mortgage Free. I didn't get a chance to listen to this one, but definitely wanted to mention that that's out. And I think it'll definitely be something worth listening to hear 2 Chainz on a Premier beat.
Yeah, I heard it. I enjoyed it. Thought it was dope.
Yeah.
First time, like you said, hearing Chainz on a Premier beat. But I definitely enjoyed what he did with it. Wouldn't mind, seeing them link up again and do something else.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind it.
Right. Yeah, that's dope, man. Because, man, you talked about that, the way he sounded on a lot of the songs he did with Benny or Conway or Westside. He sounded incredible on those type of samples. So I think he got that inspiration to go ahead and do it, what I'm saying, to kind of step outside of his normal comfort zone with the trap stuff and to link up with somebody like Premier. It's dope, man.
And I like that he's just showing his versatility. Like, he can, he's not subject to just doing one style of music. And I like that. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Next up, we got Jim Jones and the Migos. We Set the Trends. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was wasn't a collab that I was really expecting, but I thought it was pretty cool for what it was. Kind of a braggadocious type track. We set trends, like they following what we do.
Right.
Pretty self-explanatory, but I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Jimmy has always been cool to me, man. I don't know a lot about the personal stuff or whatever, but from a music standpoint, yeah, man, he's made good stuff. He had a song called Blow Your Smoke or something like that, man. Fire, man. That's like probably like a 10-year-old song, man, but I still listen to that song to this day. The video's crazy. Obviously, whatever issues him and Cam had or whatever, when they kind of fell out or whatever, he started doing his music, man. He definitely, showed that he was like one of the most slept on guys, within the crew or whatever. I remember when they did the verses. I'd say another member of that whole Dipset I thought was really dope. Was it Hell Rail?
Yeah.
Hell Rail is dope. Yeah, Hell Rail is dope, man. And so a couple of those guys, man, they got in the crew, man, in Dipset. beyond just, your usual suspects with Cam or Jewels, but they got some good guys in there or whatever. But yeah, Jim as always, for the most part, I thought made solid music.
I definitely feel like he has improved as a rapper, say the last 8 to 10 years. I think the music he's been dropping the last 8 to 10 years, he's definitely shown his growth and his improvement in his rapping ability. So I think that's dope. So shout out to Jim Jones for that.
Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna cover this on the next show, but Styles P and Havoc did a joint album called Wreckage Manor. So I've already heard it, but I know we're gonna cover it on next week. But yeah, man, I mean, it's good to see those two brothers link up, man. Styles, you had covered one of his previous albums on, was it Ghosting? We had covered it earlier in the year. He did a great job on there. This project, we're going to talk about it. It's good to see him and Havoc link up, man, because Havoc is one of those producers that, he's a rapper and a great MC as well, but his production is often, I ain't gonna use the word slept on, but it's not mentioned enough. And we talk about RZA, we talk about Premier, we talk about all these LES and Hit, just all these different people that we talk about, man. But Havoc has been putting it down for a really long time, and he's a legend.
Thanks. So you heard the project?
Yep, I did.
Is Havoc rapping on the project?
Yeah, he is. The first song is not on there, so I was thinking, oh, okay, I guess it's just he's gonna do the beats or whatever, and Styles, will do the rapping. But I think it's only the first song he's not on.
Okay, cool, good. I'm glad that he's rapping. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
Yeah, man. All right, next up, man, we got Wiz Khalifa with Wiz Got Wings. You told me that a friend of yours had inboxed you and told you it was like the old Wiz, there's no skips or whatever, and we're going to cover this on the next pod, but I'm here to tell you I concur 100%.
Yeah, I've heard a few songs. I like what I've heard so far, but yeah, like you said, we'll dive into more detail on the next pod.
Yeah. All right, and we had already mentioned earlier that Dr. Dre has the contract EP off the Grand Theft Auto with featuring Anderson .Paak, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, Eminem,
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes. But yeah, man, I mean, I've heard that too, and we'll cover it on the next show. But so yeah, shout out to Dre, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed the ETA track with Anderson and Dre, and I want to say Busta was on that one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. I thought that was dope.
Yeah. All right, man. Next up, we got Common and PJ with Majesty music video. Me and you had already talked about the Beautiful Revolution Part 2, how incredible we thought it was. When We Move is another video we had covered earlier with him and Black Thought. But yeah, PJ, man, she's getting busy, and I've seen some Instagram lives and stuff with her recently. So she's definitely, I don't know if she's cooking up a project or whatever, but she's definitely been in the lab a lot.
I feel it. Yeah, I mean, like you said, we talked about the album earlier this year, so dope to see them put a video to it. And like you said, look forward to seeing more from PJ.
Yeah.
And Beautiful Revolution 2, I think, was a great album. Yeah. And Common just giving us more visuals from another great project. So
right. All right, man. Next up, we got Polo G with Fortnite. He dropped the music video for that. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was cool. Not my favorite Polo G song that I've heard thus far, and it's kind of short, but it's cool for what it was.
Yeah, I agree. And Polo is definitely someone that's been active lately. Seems like he's been dropping more music and stuff. So someone to definitely keep an eye out for in 2022.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we got to review his album. Yeah, I think he dropped the album earlier this. In fact, I know he did. Yeah, we need to make sure we review his album. Maybe we'll do that for the next pod.
Okay. All right, and we got 3 honorable mentions that we'll talk about of Juice WRLD, Fighting Demons. What were your thoughts, man? I mean, I'll say this before I ask you, man. That's crazy, man. That's what his third project since he died, I think. Like, man, this guy got like a lot of stuff in his hard drive.
Yeah, I mean, they said he could freestyle. I saw him on Tim
Yeah,
Westwood
yeah,
one time. I think
yeah,
he freestyled for like over an hour or
yeah,
something. So,
yeah,
the dude's ability to put words together was phenomenal. I mean,
yeah.
it almost it kind of almost reminds me of a guy that used to roll. And I'm not saying their styles are similar or anything like that. Just the ability to be able to put words together kind of reminded me of Capital Steez, who used to roll with Joey Badass and Pro Era and them. Like just his ability to put words together, I thought was just phenomenal. And I see kind of similarities in Juice World. But yeah, it just shows the amount of work that he was doing, the amount of material that he had, and yeah, so we'll talk about that one later in more detail. But yeah, it's cool to see that he still has projects coming out, despite his untimely demise. So
yeah, man. Hey, I love that freestyle. It was like mostly Eminem beats or whatever. So I loved it, man. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Juice World is yeah, man. He was definitely someone, incredible, man, for sure. For sure. Yeah, he left a great legacy. Big Boy and Sleepy Brown, man. I don't know how many projects these guys have together, but they dropped the Big Sleepover.
Tons. Yeah, they got tons of projects together. I'm glad to see Big Boy still making music. I mean, I would love to get another Outkast album, but I'm still glad to see him doing stuff with Sleepy Brown. I think lately he's kind of gotten into like some kind of EDM type stuff and other kind of genres that are not just specifically hip hop.
Yeah.
But it's just great to see him still doing his thing. He's still a premier level lyricist. He's still, one of the most creative people in the game, So just to see him still doing his thing, to see Sleepy Brown still doing his thing, and to see still putting out quality music, I think is a plus. So shout out to both of them.
Yeah. Let me ask you two questions, Mike. I was listening to I was up late last night, later than I had been in a while, because I've been going to bed lately, like around 11:30, midnight or whatever, which is kind of early for me. But last night I was up pretty late or whatever. And I was listening to Mike and Coop from According to Hip Hop, and they were talking about Outkast being like the greatest, arguably one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time. But some people in the comments or some of the people who watch them kind of had a little pushback because they only have like, I guess, 4 albums or whatever of work. What do you rank Outkast as far as like one of the all-time groups? And then me personally, this is just my personal opinion. I've always felt like the Idlewild soundtrack was slept on. I mean, I know that music was different for some people and maybe it was like too much, as far as like the whole 1940s theme type of thing or whatever, but I thought the soundtrack was incredible.
I thought Idlewild was dope too. I mean, sometimes when people put out music, you're not in the headspace or your mind is not ready. What's that hook? Their brain is not ready. They don't know.
Yeah, right.
Old school hip hop heads right there. But sometimes that's how it is. You just aren't ready to receive things, or you just aren't, in the headspace to where things resonate with you. But Idlewild, I thought was definitely dope. As far as Outkast's legacy, I mean, they're clearly, if not the most dynamic duo in hip hop history, they're clearly up there on the list. I mean, I don't know who you could put ahead of them, honestly. But
what about Mobb Deep?
I mean, hey, I love Mobb Deep, but I don't think Mobb Deep's contributions overall to hip hop are equal to what Outkast did. And I mean, it's simple. It's kind of similar to the way we talk about basketball. Like, there's a lot of great 3-point shooters, but Steph Curry changed the game. That's kind of how I look at Outkast. They changed the game, especially with Southern hip hop. I think they allowed. I think there wouldn't be guys like, J. Cole's and Earth Gangs and Big Crits and Devin the Dudes. Like there might not be guys like that if it wasn't for Outkast. You know, just for being willing to do something different. So, you know, all in all, I think it is what it is. But Outkast, their legacy is cemented, and I definitely think they're one of the greatest groups, if not the greatest, duo, if not the greatest hip hop duo of all time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, I love them, man. I love them. That's debatable, man. Them and Mobb Deep. Ooh, boy, that's tough one. I mean, and then we're talking duo or we're talking group. I mean, we're talking like group. I mean, that's still a group because it's, you know, but I mean, I thought De La Soul was dope. Tribe.
De La is dope. And
yeah,
so is Tribe.
Yeah.
Tribe changed the game in a lot of the same ways that Outkast did.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's those type of groups are transcended.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it's Lupe had Max Kellerman used to quote Lupe all the time when he was on First Take. This line from Superstar. He said, "Did you improve on the design? Did you do something new?" Tribe clearly improved on the design and did something new. And the same thing with Outkast. Not to say that Mobb Deep didn't. I think they brought that grimy kind of New York, you know, sound to the forefront. You know, I think more so than some other acts that were doing similar things did. But just you can't disregard the things that Outkast was doing. I mean, even Speaker Box and The Love Below. Now all these rappers want to start singing. Now, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them was those guys. There'd be no Young Thug, no Future, guys like that if it wasn't for Andre 3000. So, like, you know, it just is what it is.
Okay, what would you rank 8 Ball, MJG, and also I think a slept on group to me is the Dog Pound. I mean, Corrupt is incredible. I mean, Daz as well, you know, on the beats, and he can rap as well, but Corrupt is like incredible.
Yeah, and Corrupt is dope, definitely. I mean, when you get into rankings and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? It gets difficult. Right. I don't really subscribe to rankings because I'm not really a big person when it comes to comparisons anyways. I think people do what they do. Everybody brings something different to the game. So I'm not really huge on comparing groups and stuff like that. But I definitely think 8 Ball and MJG are dope. I think their contributions to Southern hip hop are essential, just the same as UGK.
Yeah,
so,
UGK,
you know,
right. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Goody Mob, and that's why I asked. Like, I'm not taking nothing away from Andre and Big Boy. They are incredible. But all I'm saying is when they are the greatest group of all time, I'm just saying there's a lot of other groups that I think about as well. And then I start thinking like, man, are they the greatest? Because I guess people are looking like discography wise, they only have 4, where maybe, you know, you could argue Tribe's got, you know, we're not even mentioning Public Enemy. So I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting, one more, Rakim and Eric B, you know, so Rakim, yeah, man. So, you know.
When we're talking about groups though, how many of them have a Bombs Over Baghdad? How many?
Eric B them got one though. Eric B and Rakim, they got missiles.
How many of them got a Hey Y'all? How many of them got a Sorry Miss Jackson? How many of them got a Rosa Parks?
Well, I say this: Eric B and Rakim, they definitely got 10 missiles. They got 10 missiles for sure. Now they didn't have like a long discography either. They may be about on the same level with Outkast as far as albums, maybe only like 3 or 4 or whatever. But they got missiles, and I think the Dog Pound's got some missiles too.
I'm talking about the impact of those songs, though. Like the impact of Rosa Parks, the impact of Bombs Over Baghdad, the impact of I'm Sorry Miss Jackson. Those were huge records.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
Huge records.
Right. But okay, but New York, a lot of stuff the Dog Pound did was legendary as well, you know, for sure. So, you know, they got missiles too, man. You know, they got a lot of stuff with Dre. They got a lot of stuff on the, you know, Chronic and helping with the Chronic and helping with Doggy Style. So, I mean, they got missiles too, man.
So we're gonna act like the Dog Pound is the greatest hip hop group of all time.
I'm not saying that not, but all I'm saying is when you say that Outkast is the greatest, I'm just saying like the word greatest is like
I'm just saying,
you're saying that you are superior to everybody else, basically.
You're the numbers guy. Look at Outkast album sales. So
okay.
You know what I'm saying? What duo is selling albums like Outkast?
I mean, obviously they have a Diamond album. I don't know what the other ones did outside of Diamond. I know also that Diamond is counted because it was a double album, so technically 5 million, but it's counted twice, where it made it 10 or whatever. I don't know what the other ones did. I know Idlewild didn't do as well, but I don't know what the other ones sold. But I do know the Dog Food did 2 million. I think most of Mobb Deep's albums are either platinum or close to gold or whatever. I have to look up Public Enemy to see what they did or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, it's I guess everybody has their taste or whatever. Some people may think UGK is the best. Some people may have whatever. Everybody's entitled to you can argue Mos Def and Talib. Some people may like them or whatever.
Black Star definitely has a seat at that table. I don't think that they're, I mean, it's all subjective.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Outkast, their impact on the game, their record sales, the impact that their songs had, it can't be denied.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, and if we talk about groups, then you know what I'm saying, Wu-Tang beats all of them. So, like, if we're gonna really talk about groups. So like I just think if we're gonna keep it to duos, Outkast is definitely my number one. If somebody wants to, make an argument or whatever, then that's fine. Right. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Sure.
I just don't think you can deny their contribution to the game though.
Right. And I'm not arguing. I'm just objectively asking because, like I say, when I was listening to the show According to Hip Hop last night, and they was kind of debating this, I'm thinking, are they really the greatest of all time? Oh, bro, my favorite. This is just me. I'm not. Look, I love Andre and Big Boy. I definitely have Outkast, probably my top 3. But me personally, my favorite hip hop group is probably Gang Starr.
I like Gang Starr too. I mean, but Gang Starr is like Eric B. and Rakim. It's a DJ and a rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To me, it's kind of hard to compare a group where only one person raps to a group where 2 people rap.
Okay. Well, what about the Lox?
The Lox is 3 people.
But I'm just saying, like, what do you think about their discography versus everybody that we're talking about?
I mean, the Lox, see, and that's the thing, I think the Lox are definitely talented, but if we're talking about discography and album sales and different stuff like that, they might not measure up to some of the other groups, but I don't think that takes away from their talent. And then, I mean, plus you got to include their solo albums as well. So, I'm still rolling with Outkast, man. But
I got you. Oh, bro. I mean, again, because we're talking duo versus group, but if we're gonna just talk group, if we're gonna include a duo in a group, I could argue NWA is the greatest hip hop group of all time. That's probably I said Gang Starr, but that's because I'm a lyricist guy. But impact wise, I have to say NWA. I think
duo, I still feel like it's Outkast. Group, I feel like it's Wu-Tang Clan. With NWA behind in a close second, just because of influence. But Wu-Tang Clan to me is easily the greatest group of all time. It's not even close.
Okay, I got NWA because I think Ice Cube's impact was just incredible. I think he's probably one of the most slept on MCs in the game. I know he's still making music, but his earlier stuff, man, them first 3 albums, I put that up against anybody's discography. I mean, like Death Certificate, American Gangster, hell, even Kill It Will, like the EP is crazy. Yeah, Ice Cube, man, was like on a tear, man, for I thought it
wasn't America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, America's Most Wanted first, then he had the EP Kill It Will, then Death Certificate, then Lethal Injection.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then wasn't there oh, you said Death Certificate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Ice Cube's dope, no doubt. And
yeah.
my only thing with NWA is knowing that most of the writing for them was done by Q
And Ren.
and MC Ren. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Not, is it Ren?
Yeah, it's Ren. Yeah, a Cuban Ren.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Dre and Yella did more of the beats
and the production. Yeah.
Right.
So like, you know, just knowing that, and then you look at Wu-Tang where you got Meth, you got Jizza, you got RZA, you got Raekwon, Inspect the Deck. You know what I'm saying? All of these people, not to even mention like the Capodonas, people like that. Like all of these people, like, and every one of them was dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, but here's the argument though. How many albums? I mean, I know they like released a couple, you know, but the other two was kind of like later on where there was kind of like, I ain't gonna say past their prime. I'm not using that word, but just kind of like not probably as unified as a group or whatever. Just kind of came back just to kind of do it as like more of a legacy project. So I guess you can say the first two would probably be like the more standout projects, right?
I mean, even if that's what you're saying, you still got to look at their individual discography the same way you would with NWA. So I mean, like, and then if you start getting into that, you got Iron Man, you got the Purple Tape, you got Cuban Links, you got, you know what I'm saying, Takal. Like, I could go on for days with this. So like, you know, that's just for me. And once again, if somebody else, you know, feels differently, cool.
Okay, but Mike, but let me ask you though, because if we talk Dog Pound, then technically it's not only just, even though it's Das and Corrupt, but technically Snoop is kind of like a member of the Dog Pound. And then, so I don't know, it's deep. I mean, we ought to kind of come back one day and do like a show about it. I was just kind of freestyling about it because, I don't know, I've just been thinking about that all day. Is Outkast really the greatest group of all time?
Yes.
So that's the reason I wanted to ask you. But yeah, I thought it was okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, man, we'll transition, man, to sad news, man. Nick Cannon, man. You know, our thoughts and prayers out to him. I know losing a child is difficult. He lost his 5-month-old son to brain cancer. So what were your thoughts when you saw that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tragedy. You know, Nick, he's got a lot going on, obviously wilding out. He's got I think a talk show now that comes on like CW. Got a lot of stuff going on.
Max Singer and all this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So, you know, obviously it's a tragedy. You know, once you, like you said, you never want to be in a situation where, you know, someone's burying a child. I couldn't imagine what that feels like. I don't have children, but our condolences from the Sleeping Giants podcast definitely go out to Nick, to his family, and we just pray that, you know, they're granted some kind of serenity, you know, in a very difficult time, you know.
Right.
It's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know he's dealing with his own health issues and stuff. So thoughts and prayers to Nick, man. Artist spotlight, man. IDK.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of information on IDK, so this is going to be one of our shorter ones. Okay. But let's get into it. So, JIDK, formerly known as JIDK, is what he used to go by, but now known as IDK, is a American rapper, singer, songwriter, and record producer. He was born in London, England, in 1992 to American parents, and was raised in Bowie, Maryland, where he started making music under the moniker JIDK. He released his first mixtape in 2014 called Sex, Drugs, and Homework as JIDK. It was self-released, and that was his kind of introduction to the music industry. He started gaining notoriety around the time of his second mixtape, which was August 2015, and the mixtape was entitled Subtrap. Now, Subtrap is a genre that IDK basically created himself, and it's called sub trap because it stands for suburban trap, or in other words, trap music with substance. So he's trying to do something a little different, which I think is dope. The album had features like The Plug, God Said Trap, and Cookie Addiction featuring BJ the Chicago Kid, the guy we spoke about many times on the pod, who's a great singer. Uh, had production from Lo Mein, Tim Weberson, Matt Weiss, Delbert Bowers, and the project manager for Subtrack, or project management for Subtrap, was overseen by Blade Thornton, David Cootie, Clayton Barmore, Quinnell Holder, and Ryan Booth. JDK, or I'm sorry, JDK, JIDK or IDK. His style is he attributes a lot of his style to being influenced by Kendrick Lamar's album Section 80. And most of his albums after Subtrap, even though as you can see with Trap with Substance, has a kind of a undertone or a under message, to it. But most of his projects kind of have some kind of a message to them. It's almost kind of like a concept album in a lot of ways. So to continue, in June of 2016, he announced that he was performing on the Trelectro Musical Festival. And in September of 2016, he released his third mixtape, Empty Bank, and it premiered on Forbes, which was a great move for him, obviously getting a lot more recognition. He would then open up for Isaiah Rashad on The Little Sunny tour, and that started in January of 2017, which was cool. So then he started to release music, more music, as his name and his notoriety was getting stronger. October of 2017, he dropped his fourth mixtape, I Was Very Bad. This is around the time when IDK really reached my radar. I'd heard of him beforehand, but wasn't very familiar. Heard maybe a song or two, and it wasn't enough to really, draw me in as a listener. But once I heard I Was Very Bad and some of the things, the concepts that he was doing with the project, I thought it was very dope. He's a very honest MC, has no problem revealing, things in his personal life, even things in his family life that, I think most people would probably be a lot more closed-lipped with. And I think that that's cool that he is very honest, and it's very refreshing, honestly. But anyway, so in 2019, September 4th, 2019, he dropped Is He Real, his studio album. And this album was kind of themed around his childhood, his relationship with his mother, and his thoughts and feelings about religion and church and different things like that. And it's very much a concept album. I don't want to ruin anything for the album for someone who wants to go listen to it, but it's definitely worth the listen. And there's some very interesting concepts and features on the album. He talks about, like I said, how he came up, his childhood, and yeah, some really, really deep and incredible songs on there. But I don't want to ruin anything for somebody who may want to listen to that. So you go check it out for yourself. And ironically, You See For Yourself was the album that he dropped this year, which we reviewed on the pod. Terrance deemed it a classic. I definitely agree. It's one of the best albums of the year. Has made my top album of the year conversation multiple times since we've talked about it on the pod. And recently, he also released the deluxe edition, which had tracks with Kenny Mason, JID, Royce the 5'9", Jack Johnson, and a couple of others on that. So, yeah, just all in all, I think he's a very dope MC. Yeah. I think he's very thought-provoking. To be his age, he's very young. Like I said, I think he was born in, 1992? Mm-hmm. So he's very young. And I think for him to be as young as he is, some of the concepts and the things that he talks about in his songs, it just shows his level not only of maturity, but his level of self-awareness and just his striving to discover himself and to learn more about himself and life and things like that. And I just think it's interesting, not only interesting but dope. And he's also got some other things. He's got his academy, No Label Academy, and that's a collaboration that he's doing with Harvard, if I'm not mistaken. We spoke about that on the previous pod. So he's got a lot of things going on. I've seen some things that he's even done. He is constantly doing things for fans, whether it's just popping up on people or I think recently he collaborated with a credit, one of those credit clearing companies that helps people repair their credit, and he was able to give like some fan like $10,000 in order to help them in their credit repair. So just a very forward thinking, very thought provoking MC and in person in general. I've seen some interviews with him. He seems to be a very deep thinker as well. So shout out to JIDK or IDK now. I love, like I said, I've loved the past 3 projects. I Was Very Bad, Is He Real, You See For Yourself. I look forward to hearing more music from him in the future. And just a dope MC. And that's why we decided to hit him with the artist spotlight this week.
Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to IDK. Yeah, man, incredible artist. Definitely look forward to hearing a lot more from him, and want to see his just evolution just continue to grow, man, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mike, give everybody the social media, man.
Yeah, it's M1C_CH3CK. That's Mike Check. The I is a 1, the E is a 3, underscore in the middle. That simple.
All right, and you can look for me on Facebook. Look for Terrance Hill. Be sure to like the page, and also like our page on there as well, the Sleeping Giants podcast. We just started the page, so it's growing, and we're gonna continue to put up some polls and different things that people can chime in, have their opinions about. So again, the Sleeping Giants podcast on Facebook. On Instagram, my handle is Terrance Hill the Great. That's one word. And lastly, you can find me on YouTube. Look for Terrance Hill Music. Again, on YouTube, Terrance Hill Music. Want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of Terrance and Mike, the Sleeping Giants. We'll see you guys on next week. Take care.
Yeah, and subscribe to Double ETV too.
For sure. Double ETV. Like us.